A very good day, everyone. This is the first part in this series on academic writing, and we will be considering the basics of academic writing and how to structure your academic report, be it the final year undergraduate project, master's dissertation, or the doctoral thesis. And to begin, here's the outline. I'm going to provide a little introduction. In other words, talk about the basic facts about academic writing, then the word count for your undergraduate project or master's dissertation or the doctoral or Doctor of Philosophy degree thesis. Although the word count estimation in this series may vary depending on your institutional requirement. And also we'll talk about the structure for your project, dissertation, or thesis, then also referencing. So what is academic writing? Here we have that an academic writing, or better still, academic writing is a formal presentation of well-structured intellectual findings. So in other words, it should be evidence-based, and we should be able to validate whatsoever is reported, probably by looking up some related work or previously published articles. In other words, we should be able to cite some established authorities in that field of study, and also reference them. And also, your academic report or writing should be cohesive. And when we talk about cohesion, we mean that the sentences should be connected. So in other words, when we try to put up paragraphs and the likes, there should be connection between sentences. They shouldn't be disjointed. And also it should be coherent. In other words, the ideas that may be formulated should be connected. And also, it should target a specific aim and well-designed objectives. So to pull off a well-written academic report, then we should be considering a specific aim, that is the goal of the research, and then the roadmap, how we intend to achieve that particular goal being the objectives. So also, academic writing is usually written in third person. So in other words, you want to avoid the first person and the second person pronoun. And in other words, when referring to yourself or to your work in person, you should avoid words like I, me, we, us. Rather refer in the third person. Say we're the researcher. Okay, and also try to avoid the use of the second person pronoun, the likes of you, yours, your, and so on. Now, should it be necessary actually to refer to yourself in the report, just like I mentioned earlier? That could be written, for instance, saying by using the word the researcher rather than say I. And another example should read like, when the jumper cables are connected at a common node, then so and so and so happens. And it should not read when you connect the jumper cables. So you'll notice here that the word you, as used in this case, does not appear in the third person. Now, always ensure that your report is written in the third person, like we already established. So how about the word count? Now, this may vary depending on institutional requirement, like I mentioned earlier, but the final year project report should not be less than 10,000 words. And the master's dissertation should not be less than 20,000 words. And the PhD thesis rather, it should not be less than 30,000 words. So master's dissertation should not be less than 20,000 words. The PhD dissertation should not be less than 30,000 words. But, well, there's a caveat here because you don't want to place your emphasis on the word count when you are trying to develop a novel approach to solving a particular problem. So the novel approach, or better still, your contribution to knowledge, is more important than the word count. So that's okay. So let us look at the structure, okay? For your dissertation, thesis, and the project. So the first thing we have here is the cover page. Then we also have the title page. We're going to show, or better say, display how it should look, okay? Well, every institution also have, they have their own specific template. But, well, this is just, let's say, a guideline. So we should have a cover page, the title page, the certification page, the certification of project, or the dissertation, or the thesis, or the thesis on plagiarism. Then the dedication page, acknowledgement page, then abstract. And afterwards, table of contents, the list of symbols, list of abbreviations, list of figures, list of tables, then chapter 1, which is usually the introduction. Then we have chapter 2, which is usually the literature review. Then chapter 3 being the methodology. Then chapter 4, results and discussion. Chapter 5, conclusion and recommendations. Then references, appendices. Now, this is for a 5-chapter report. Well, some could also have 6 chapters. And there are some reports that are publication-based. So it all depends on how the institution decides to, to organize around their template. But, well, conventionally, this should apply. And regardless of the particular template that may be adopted, then these components shown in the 5 chapters should also be contained in your report. So how should the cover page look like? The cover page should look something like this. The thesis or dissertation or project title, say investigation of XYZ, or the design and construction of so-and-so by the name of the candidate and the matriculation number or student ID. Then, well, I just quoted my department because I am a faculty in the Department of Electrical Electronics Engineering, University of Lagos. So say the Department of Electrical Electronics Engineering, probably your department. Then the faculty or the college, depending on what applies in your institution. Then the school name, in this case, Faculty of Engineering, University of Lagos. Then Akoka, Nigeria. Then the month and the year. This is a sample of the cover page. And then we have the title page, where we also have the title, then the name of the candidate and the student ID, say thesis, dissertation, or project in the department of XYZ, well, in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, submitted to the postgraduate school if it's for postgraduate studies, the likes of, that's for the doctoral or the master's program, where we have either the thesis or the dissertation, or for undergraduate purposes, then you have the project. Okay, so submitted to the postgraduate school or the faculty of engineering or the college of engineering, or the college of, depending on what you call it in your institution, in partial fulfillment of the requirements for the award of the degree of probably Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Science, Master of Engineering, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Engineering, in whatsoever program, in this case, Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Then you have the month and the year. Then certification. Well, this usually reads, this is to certify that the study was carried out by the student name in the department of XYZ, in this case, Electrical and Electronics Engineering, University of Lagos, Akoka, Nigeria. And then you have the name of the supervisor, then should there be a co-supervisor, and then the head of department. Well, in some instances, they also include the coordinator, probably the PG coordinator or the project coordinator. Then we have the certification of project or dissertation or thesis on plagiarism. So we, the undersigned, attest and declare that the thesis or dissertation or project of XYZ, the student name, titled, we provide the title of the thesis, right, of the project, has successfully passed the anti-plagiarism test and does not violate any copyright regulations. And the metric for these also varies. Some institutions may accept 15% similarity index, some less and some more. So it all depends on the governing authorities. And then the name of the supervisor and co-supervisor, and they'll have to sign, then the head of department, and afterwards, a copy of the plagiarism report should be attached somewhere at the bottom. Okay, a snapshot. Okay, somewhere here. Okay. Then, so that is include a snapshot of the anti-plagiarism test, duly certified, stamped, and signed, and also dated. Then dedication. Now, this work is dedicated to whoever, probably to your wife, to your pet, well, to someone you hold in high esteem, even to God. Yeah. So it all depends on who you decide to dedicate the work to. Or you could even dedicate the work to nature, to whatsoever. Then acknowledgement. Now, the student acknowledges those that may have contributed to the work. This session should be very brief. It should read something like this. I want to express my profound gratitude to my erudite supervisor, the name of supervisor, XYZ, probably Professor so for the mentorship contributions and encouragement throughout the course of this study. To add, my unreserved gratitude goes to XYZ, probably those that supported your research and all of that. Well, it may not be necessary to begin to appreciate those that saw you through the entire program, because this strictly is for the project. But should you choose to, there's no problem. Then this is also optional. You may want to include your signature and all of that. Right? It's optional. Then the abstract. Now, the abstract is usually written after you must have conducted the research. It's usually the last thing to do, to write. Okay, because then you must have put the method to use. You haven't established the particular problem you intend to solve, and then you must have gotten the results. You already know your contribution to knowledge, the findings, and all of that. So this is a summary of the aim of the study, the research problem, the methodology used in proposing a solution, then findings and recommendations. So these are the components that should make the abstract. So it is the summary or preamble of the entire report. So in general, The abstract may be organized in 3 paragraphs: the aim or purpose of the study and the problem statement, the methodology, another paragraph, and the summary of findings/results, where you have to throw in the numerical values and all of that. So let us look at, okay, now the word count for your abstract, for your PhD thesis, it should not be more than 500 words. Then for dissertation, for master's, report, probably 250 words should be sufficient, quarter of a page. Then for your master's project, probably 150 or 250 words. So abstract should be written in past tense because you already conducted the research. So let's check a sample of this abstract, which I picked from one of the articles I co-authored. Now, let's look at it, the purpose. Now, radio propagation models are used to predict signal strength in order to characterize the radio frequency channel. This will help in providing sufficient data required for the design of appropriate receivers that can recover the transmitted signal distorted due to fading and multipath effect. This study attempts to address network performance issues that may arise due to poor radio frequency planning and development and deployment, rather. So we already stated the problem, gave a brief idea, and the aim is clearly stated. Then the method of statistical analysis. So data collection was carried out through drive tests using test mobile system, TEMS W995 phone, interface with TEMS investigation tool version 13.1, G-Star GPS location finder, and Map Info Professional, and analyzed using root mean squared error statistical tool and 10th-degree polynomial for fitting measured data with empirical models. Now the findings. Considering the contending empirical propagation models, the Ericsson model showed a better fit for the measured path loss data with root mean squared errors of 5.86 dB, 5.86 dB also, and 5.85 dB at 1.0 meter, 1.5 meters, and 2.5 and 2.0 meters mobile antenna heights respectively, in comparison with Okumura model, which is currently in use. It also outperformed other investigated models, which are HATA COS231 and SUI models at 2100 MHz. These findings will help in revamping radio frequency planning and system design of the investigated and similar terrains, thereby optimizing overall system performance while minimizing drop costs, handover or quality issues, and other network inherent failings. Then let's look at the application or improvements. Results showed a minimum error estimate within the acceptable range of 6 dB for signal prediction. This model can be used for signal prediction and channel characterization of any wireless mobile environment with similar channel characteristics. The other propagation models that overpredicted the radio channel could be further investigated in future work and possibly tuned to accommodate dense urban areas. It is just a sample, but we can't really say this is the best sample. But this is just to show how the components could be put together. Okay, where we have the aim or the purpose of the study, the problem itself, the problem you intend to solve, or you solve, not intend anymore, you solved in the research, and the methodology used. It could be a mathematical model, probably you use some optimization tools, probably use Brody-Fletcher-Buffer channel algorithm, probably you use Lagrange multiplier, probably you use some model, probably you use the particular algorithm, or developed or designed a hybrid system. It depends, whichever method you specify, and then the summary of findings and results. Okay. So the table of content should have the title page, certification, where you have all of these in Roman numerals, right? You have them in Roman numerals. And then that is the title page. The title page is not numbered, but the certification is numbered. As a Roman numeral 1, the certification